Hello everyone, in this video you'll be learning how to sew this bustier blouse. I already did a video on the cutting process and I'll be dropping the link in the description box. Then there's another video on how to do this flounce sleeve. I'll also drop it in the description box. This bustier blouse, if you have been having challenge in having a perfect bustier blouse, this video tutorial is for you. Your client may not have to wear a bra when you follow the processes in the cutting and the sewing. Now let's get started. Okay, so these are the fabrics I'll be using. These mirror doll face, bridal satin lining, the lace, scissors, thread, chalk to mark pins, and obviously your tape. So now I've cut the pattern and then I placed it on fabric. I added 4 inches to the length because I want it to be longer. I used the same pattern to sew for the person, but it was a bit short. So by the side you'll be adding your sewing allowance. On the chest line I added 2 inches, on the waist I added 4, and that's the length that I added. Then the full length I added 3.5 to replace the darts that I cut out. Then for the back I added only 1/2 inch at the point where I'll be joining it. Also for the front you add 1/2 inch at the point where you'll be joining the dart, because we use only the nipple to nipple, we do not have sewing allowance. Then for the side of the back you have your 2 inches sewing allowance and the length that I added 4 inches. So I've used the pattern, the mirror face, to cut the lace, and then I'll be placing the bra cups that I've cut on it. Then I'll be sewing the dart. There's also another video on how to cut that bra cup. I also dropped the link because I don't want this video to be too long. That's why it has to be like that. So is this video just for some people that do not know how to sew the bustier, how to join the bustier. I know that some people, they know how to sew it. So when you place it, you are going to be sewing 1/2 inch the 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So I'm going to be placing the bra cup. I'll mark the 1/2 inch on the bra cup and on the fabric. Then I'll pin it first. I'll pin every piece. I pin the lace to the doll face, and I'm pinning the bra cup to the fabric before I'll start joining. So I make sure that the point that I notch, that bust point that I notch on the bra cup, aligns with the one on the fabric, and then the ending point of the bra the foam is also on the under bust point on the fabric. So the ending point of the foam foam that we're using for the bra cup ends at the under bust. Then the bust point will align with the bust point of the fabric. Then you pin the other parts. I went up by 4 inches from the bust point, so you're going to pin it down first before you now chalk. I already chalked the fabric. I chalked the I marked the 1/2 inch on the foam. Then I now pin them together. It's better you chalk it before you start pinning, because your fabric and the bra cup is laying flat, so that you not have a situation whereby one cup is standing up while the other one is down. There are some that one cup will be as if it's standing up than the other. When you do your pinning before you join your fabric, everything is laying flat and on the right point. So for the side on, I also make sure that the ending is on the under bust. Then the bust point to aligns with the bust point on the fabric. You notch your fabric while you are cutting with your pattern so that you get the right point. Now to join the center to the side, so as the center front to the side front, I make sure that the bust points on both the center front and the side front, they align, and I pin it first together. Then I'm going to pin the under bust part too together. Now what gives that cup effect is that this point that is made now, they are not equal, so you're going to spread it in a way that it will be equal and pin them together. You're going to pin it together. Make sure that one is no longer than the other. You spread it. There's a way you spread it. It's not as if the distance is much, so it will be able to align. Then you now pin from the bust point up. I just make sure that I pin that place. You may decide to pin all through from beginning to the end, but that point that I showed you is very essential that you pin it first. Then you can now decide to pin from down, but me, I didn't pin it, so I'm sewing by half an inch that I've chalked already, and I make sure that the two fabric they are equal while sewing. So when you are sewing that bra area, the breast area, you're going to be careful. You carefully sew it. Make sure that the one under is not folding. You keep checking. Make sure that the one under is not folding. You keep checking. And you don't remove your pin. It's just that you make sure that the fabric under is laying flat so that there is no fold when you finish sewing. This tutorial, I believe, will be helpful to beginners that are just learning how to sew breast cup. So if you're already an intermediate or an advanced designer, I know that this may not be new to you. So I've done one. I'm sewing the other part too. So you make sure that the fabric at the end point they are also the same. There are times that the side front may be a bit longer than the center front by the time you finish, but highest it will be like quarter inch, that is 0.25. So this is how it looks like. You can see that the cup as form is now out. So like I said, I will be dropping the link to the cutting process in the description box so that you can follow the cutting process. If you follow that cutting process, trust me, your client is going to your bustier is going to change, and it will be of perfect fit on your customer's body. So I'm trimming off the excess of the foam on the sewing allowance part. I'm trimming it off. Then I will notch the fabric at that point. I'm trimming for the two sides. Then I'll notch that point so that when I'm ironing, that point will spread out well. You notch carefully and make sure that you don't cut through the seam allowance that you have sewn. So that will help when I want to iron for the cup to stay well. Okay, so I'm going to sew the back also using the half inch seam allowance that I've added. I'll sew the fabric and the lining. I place the lace on door face. Then now I've sewn it, I'll just turn the neckline with half an inch. I reduce the length of the lining by 1.5 so that I'll drag it up and the lining will not be showing under. So you first sew the neckline, then you sew the down, then you sew the side. You sew the neckline with half an inch, the down half an inch, and the side is 0.25, that's quarter inch. So I did the same for the front also. That means because of the length that is shorter, it means that you are going to drag it up. That's how it will be when you finish. You drag it up, you drag the lining up and make sure that it's equal with the fabric at the upper side, so that the down that is excess is going to cover the lining at the down part. The fabric is a bit longer, so that the lining, now see, the lining is dragged up because I made the lining to be shorter than the fabric, but you are dragging it up to make sure that they are equal on the upper part. So that's the back and the front also. Now for the back, I'll be fixing zipper. So the allowance that I left, the allowance for the zipper is 1 inch. So you are going to pin your zip half-inch away from the edge, because what we have left for the zipper, when I was cutting, I made the zipper allowance to be 1.5 because I'm turning with lining. So by the time I am done turning with lining, it will have reduced because I'm turning both sides of the back. So the zipper allowance reduced to 1 inch. Now you are pinning your zip half-inch away from the edge. So you make sure that you pin it and check the way it will look after sewing. That I do the pinning. When you pin correctly, you just have to sew once, you will not have to lose. So you make sure that the upper parts, they are equal, and then you pin it, so that by the time you finish sewing, one side will not be longer than the other one. So this is how it looks like. Then you're going to sew it down with your sewing machine. Now I've sewn it down, and I place the back on the front, because now I want to shape it. To shape it, you are going to use the customer's or your measurement divided by 2. So I'm pinning it to make sure that they are equal. You pin it to make sure that they lie flat. We also call this process shaping. That's the shaping of the clothes. So you make sure that they are equal. If the one side, for me, because I've cut it using the right measurement, most times the front and back, they are equal. But in a situation whereby you have maybe the back is wider than the front, you make sure that the excess that you have on both sides, let's say for the waist now, they are the same. You make sure that the excess by the left and the right, they are the same, and you pin. Make sure any other part that you are pinning, they are the same. If you are having excess, the excess on both sides, if it is 1 inch, must be 1 inch. So now I can see that the armhole one was a bit longer than the other one, so I trim it to be equal. So right now, to put the measurement, I'll measure the chest, that's the bust all through, divide by 2. What I have, I'll place it. Then what is remaining on the side, I'll divide it to 2. Let's say 2 is remaining, I'll put one on the left and put one on the right. Then also for the waist, let's say I'm using waist of 30, divide by, okay, now this is the under bust of 32, divide by 2 is 16. After marking it, whatever is left, let's say I have 3 left, I'm going to put 1.75 on the left and 1.75 on the right. The waist that I'm using is 30, divided by 2 is 15. When I measure what I have, let's say I have 18, that means I'll mark the 15. What I have left is 3. I'll mark 1.75 on the left and 1.75 on the right. That 1.75 is known as a 1/3. Then for the full length, the measurement is 40. So if I have 44 there, I'll mark where the the measure is 40, divided by 2 is 20. If I have 24, I'll mark 20. Then remaining 2, the remaining 4, I divide it 2 inches, 2 inches. That is how you shape. So those points that you have marked, you're going to use it, and you see that the shape of the person will come out. So you sew it down, and then you bring it out like this. So this is how it looks like. We have shaped it using the person's measurement. When you use the person's accurate measurement, when you have measured correctly, you see that this clothes will have a perfect fit on the person. Now, this is an off shoulder. Now for a medium-sized person, you can use unfold. That's the round chest, of the person. For me, for a medium person, I use 6. For an average person, how will I put it? If someone like bust 36, bust 36, 37, bust 35, 34, 35, 37, I use 5. Unfold, that's 10. That's strap to strap, the person's strap to strap, I use 5 or 5.25. Now once the bust is reaching up to 40, I use 6. So I'll leave 1 inch allowance for me to fix the sleeve. So the person's strap to strap unfold now is 6 plus 1 is sewing allowance. You can see that I've trimmed off the excess. Now for the back, for someone that has bust 60 also and the hand is fitted, I use 6.5. I use 6.5. I don't know what may work for other person. So if the person is from bust 35 to 36, 37, I use 5.5 or 5.25 on food like that, plus 1 inch sewing allowance. So I'll mark where that 5.5 or 6 stops. Is that place I'm going to fix the sleeve. So right now I have also done another video on how to cut an off shoulder sleeve. I also dropped the link in the description box. So I'm checking that armhole to make sure that it rhymes with what I have carved out for the armhole for that off shoulder. So there is an excess that I left in case it's not enough, and I have seen that this armhole that I've drafted now is perfect. So that excess, I'm not going to use it again, so I'm cancelling it out. I'm going to work with the actual measurement. So like I said, I'm going to drop the link to how to cut an off shoulder sleeve in the description box for those that may not know how to cut an off shoulder sleeve. So you can see that I have exactly what I need plus sewing allowance. I have exactly what I need for my armhole, for the armhole to fit in, so that there won't be any excess, there won't be any gathering of it, because it is a straight sleeve, it's not a puff sleeve. So I'll drop the link on that off shoulder sleeve in the description box. So I make sure that everything, the sleeve is perfect. That's what I'm just explaining here. Okay, so and then the length also, if you are folding up, you come out a bit and form a slant, so that when you fold it, it will be equal. Okay, now this is it. I'm fixing it. One sleeve of this cloth is a basic off shoulder sleeve, while the other one has a flounce attached to it. I already made a video on how to cut a flounce, and then I'll also drop the link for on how to sew the flounce sleeve. Just once you watch how to cut a flounce in the video that I've made, is just to sew the flounce, tag the flounce on the off shoulder sleeve. So this is the flounce that I've cut. Like I said, the video of it is on my channel, and I'll drop the link in the description box. So I'm going to be tacking the flounce on the off shoulder sleeve, on one of the sleeves. I'm just going to tack it around and form the shape that you want. I spent time tacking it until I got what I really wanted. So this is the outcome of the blouse. You can see that it's very beautiful. In fact, when the owner came, she really loved it. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe to our channel. It will go a long way to encourage me. If you're a returning subscriber and you have been with me, I thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you.